Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're tuning in today because we're going to unpack something that literally every single one of us deals with, but very few of us actually know how to beat. You know that feeling, right? When you're completely trapped by your own mind, like your thoughts are just spinning in this endless circle, totally draining your energy, but you're not actually getting anywhere. Well, today we're breaking that loop. We're going to dig into the fascinating mechanics behind overthinking, and far more importantly, how you can actually conquer it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Picture this scenario. It is 2:17 in the morning. Your room is perfectly silent. Everyone else is fast asleep. But your brain? Oh no. Your brain has decided this is the absolute perfect time to replay literally every embarrassing thing you've ever done in your entire life. You're just lying there in the dark, and your mind is busy creating this terrifying future that doesn't even exist. You're imagining failing, being judged, losing everything, and by doing absolutely nothing but lying in bed, you're just completely exhausted. I mean, we all know exactly what's on this 2:17 a.m. playlist, don't we? It's that super awkward conversation from 3 years ago. It's the text you sent today that got kind of a weird reply. It's next week's big interview, or that huge decision you still haven't made. One thought becomes two turn into 20, and suddenly you are in a full-blown spiral. It's incredibly frustrating. But here's the secret that kind of changes everything. Your brain isn't actually trying to torture you. Believe it or not, it's just trying to protect you.
So, to truly break free from this, we've got to understand how the trap is built in the first place. That brings us to Chapter 1, the prison inside your mind.
We need to diagnose the root cause here. Why does the brain refuse to stay quiet? Well, think about our ancient ancestors walking through a forest, say, 20,000 years ago. Every single sound mattered. A rustling bush could just be the breeze, sure, or it could be a tiger. The ancient humans who imagined the worst-case scenario, those were the ones who survived and passed on their genes. That ancient survival system is still very much alive inside your head today. The only catch is, today, the tiger isn't hiding behind a tree. The tiger is a ping on your phone. It's an unanswered email or a first date. Your brain misidentifies these modern, everyday inconveniences as literal life-or-death threats. Because of this, your brain absolutely loves playing the what-if game. What if I fail? What if they laugh at me? And at first glance, this kind of feels like you're just being responsible, right? Like you're planning. But let's get one thing straight. Overthinking is not planning. Planning looks for solutions. Overthinking looks for absolute certainty. And here's the reality check. 100% certainty just doesn't exist. Imagine standing at a crossroads. An overthinker refuses to take a single step until they know for a fact which path is perfect. But waiting for total certainty just means you stay stuck. And refusing to make a decision? Well, ironically, that's still a decision.
Psychologists actually have a specific term for this feeling. It's called analysis paralysis. It happens when having an abundance of choices creates severe anxiety, and it actually makes it way harder to choose anything at all. Our modern world gives us endless options for literally everything: careers, partners, what to binge watch tonight. But our ancient brains were never designed to process unlimited choice. So more choices don't always give us more freedom. Mostly, they just give us a ton more anxiety.
And this brilliantly illustrates the point. Imagine walking into a restaurant that only has 5 meals on the menu. You'd probably pick one in a couple of minutes, no problem, right? Now, imagine walking into a restaurant with a massive menu of 300 different meals. Suddenly, sheer panic sets in. What if I choose the wrong one? What if the pasta's way better than the steak? This is exactly how modern life short-circuits our ancient brains. The sheer volume of choices just completely paralyzes us. So, how do we keep getting tangled up in this, day after day? Let's look at Chapter 2, Traps That Keep You Stuck.
The absolute biggest lie overthinking tells you is that if you just think long enough, you'll finally find the perfect answer. It's the illusion of progress. It's a lot like trying to smooth out a wrinkle in a blanket, right? You press down on one side, and boom, another one pops up somewhere else. We're constantly analyzing, comparing, predicting, and preparing endlessly. And man, it feels like really hard work. But think of it like a car with the handbrake pulled all the way up. You're slamming the gas pedal, the engine is revving, it's making a ton of noise, and you are burning through all your fuel. But you have absolutely zero forward movement. You're exhausted not because you did too much, but because you went nowhere.
You see, overthinking is a master of disguise. It dresses up to look like preparation. I like to call this the GPS trap. Imagine you're driving to a brand new city. Your GPS gives you the route, but instead of, actually driving, you stop the car every 100 meters to double-check the map, ask another driver, and compare 3 different apps on your phone. Are you going to get there faster? Absolutely no way. The constant checking basically guarantees you'll be late.
Overthinking traps us in this loop of constant verification, so we never actually move forward.
A really massive part of this whole mess comes down to what psychologists call emotional forecasting. Basically, this is your brain trying to predict how a future event is going to make you feel. But here is the kicker. Your brain is actually terrible at this. Take public speaking, for example. Why do people fear it so much? Is standing on a wooden stage inherently dangerous? Of course not. Your brain isn't trying to avoid the event itself, it's trying to avoid the imagined feelings of embarrassment or rejection. It overestimates the pain and totally underestimates your ability to handle it.
And this leads us straight into a vicious avoidance cycle, which is fueled by three main traps. First up, perfectionism. That's believing your worth depends on making zero mistakes, kind of like an artist just staring at a blank canvas forever. Second is decision fatigue, where overanalyzing drains your daily mental energy so much that even tiny choices become impossible. And third, the identity trap, telling yourself, well, I'm just an overthinker. That just gives your brain a free pass to keep doing it. Think about a little kid learning to walk. They embrace falling down as part of the process. But as adults, we refuse to even take a step because we're terrified of looking foolish. All right, we know the traps and we know exactly why our brains set them up. So how do we get out? Here's Chapter 3, Breaking Free Through Action. Now, what's really interesting about this is that to escape the loop, we have to completely flip the script on what most of us believe. The confidence myth tells us that we need to feel confident first and then we can take action. But the reality is the exact opposite. You take action first, and then the confidence follows. Think about throwing on a really heavy backpack. At first, the weight feels impossible, right? But as you start hiking, your body adjusts. The weight of the backpack didn't change, your strength did. Taking action is exactly what builds that strength.
Now, if taking action feels way too terrifying right now, the solution is super simple. Shrink the task. If you tell your brain to write a whole book, it's going to freeze up with uncertainty. But if you just tell it to write one sentence, suddenly that feels totally possible. This is called reducing your activation energy. Momentum always begins with incredibly small, non-threatening actions that bypass your brain's natural resistance. Actually, scratch that. It's more like tricking your brain. Don't promise to run 10 kilometers today. Literally just focus on tying your shoes.
Alongside taking those tiny actions, we also need a solid mental tool. Enter cognitive diffusion. This is an insanely powerful psychological trick where you distance yourself from your thoughts by recognizing them as just mental events rather than absolute, set-in-stone facts. Your brain churns out thousands of thoughts every single day. Some are useful, sure, but a lot of them are just pure noise. You absolutely do not have to believe every single sentence your mind creates. Let's actually look at how this works in practice. If you say to yourself, I'm going to fail, well, that feels like an absolute, terrifying reality. But watch what happens if you change it to, I'm having the thought that I'm going to fail. Everything shifts, right? That second statement creates distance. It reminds you that this is just a passing mental event. It literally strips away the absolute power of the fear, giving you the breathing room to just act anyway.
A great way to practice this is with the mindfulness river exercise. Imagine you're standing by a quiet, flowing river. Whenever an anxious thought pops into your head, like, what if people judge me? Just imagine placing that thought on a little leaf and watching it drift away downstream. You don't jump into the freezing river to fight the current. You don't have to chase down every noisy car on the mental highway. You simply observe it passing by. It's all about learning that you don't have to be controlled by your mind's endless chatter.
So, the crucial point is this. You have an incredibly powerful imagination. The real problem is just that you've only been using it against yourself. It is time to flip that script. You've got to stop asking, what if I fail, and start asking, what if it works? What if the business actually succeeds? What if they say yes? What if this one small decision totally changes your life for the better? Use that amazing brain of yours in your own favor for once.
Let's go all the way back to that person lying awake at 2:17 in the morning. Nothing in their physical room actually changed, did it? The only thing that changed was the story playing on loop inside their head. You can't control every thought that pops up, but you absolutely choose which ones get your attention. The people you look up to, they aren't fearless, they just take action while fear is sitting right there beside them in the passenger seat. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving forward even when fear comes along for the ride.
So I want to leave you with a direct challenge to take away from this. What is one decision you have been completely overthinking? And what is the very first tiny little action you're going to take on it today? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Remember, your life is shaped by the actions you take, not the thoughts you repeat. If you found this explainer helpful and you want to dive even deeper into how your mind works, definitely check out our other explainers. Now, go take that first step.